Welcome, Walnut. I'm Lara, but you can call me Laz, your host for Walnut Wednesday. This is your reminder to be brave, be yourself, and know that you can make the world a better place just by what you decide today. Here, I'm going to share my weekly walnuttings with you on a Wednesday. Hello, Walnut. It is me, Laz, here for another episode of Walnut Wednesday. I've been a bit hesitant to record this episode, so I'm just diving straight in. I pulled a card just because I was like, is this something I need to talk about? Do I need to air my dirty laundry on Walnut Wednesday? Open bracket again, close bracket. You get a lot of my dirty laundry, like smells and all. But I pulled this card, so Walnut, it might be relevant to you at this time when you're listening to it. The card I pulled is number 12, and it says success. Success that's true belongs to me, success with honor, integrity. And what I pulled from this card was, if I am in integrity with myself and my reasons for wanting to air this dirty laundry with you, it shall be a success. It shall be a successful episode. Well, maybe not so obvious, but that was kind of my note. So long as I am in integrity with what I'm saying, I'm going to go ahead and tell you this story time. So Walnut, trigger warning, this episode is about having children, and if you have children, I don't think you're bad or wrong, and if you don't have children, I don't think you're bad or wrong, and if you don't want to have children, I don't think you're bad or wrong, and if you do want to have children, I don't think you're bad or wrong. This episode is I wouldn't even call it an opinion, Walnut, because it's just my struggle street battle, being a nearly mid-30-year-old working woman. I just thought it's an episode that I just want to share a little bit of my feels, and I haven't really spent the time, Walnut, to sit and reflect. I've just kind of gone on sacral things, right? So basically, from where I'm sitting, Walnut, so my walnutting this week is to tell you where I'm at and how I'm feeling biologically and about reproducing my spawn of the earth. And Walnut, I don't know. So I'm at present 31 years old. And I am feeling like, if you ask me, Walnut, Laz, do you want kids? I would have always said yes. But that being said, has been because society tells you to have the white picket fence, that you must marry a man, and that you must birth the children. And times have changed so much where women are not the sort of home household sorter outers yet, like full time, yet they still end up doing all this and also working and all the so this is all of patriarchal things tied into it and into my awareness of this as well, Walnut. But times have really changed. And so when I started to sort of question my immediate yes, it was like, why? And anyway, I've been in a bit of a bind not a bind, but in a bit of a way for quite some time, where I've been getting pressure on all ends. And it's not pressure just from family and friends. It's societal pressure. It's people at work pressure. It's every external kind of source that's when are you having kids? When are you having kids? You and Jordy have been together for 1,500 years. When are you having kids? First of all, Walnut, if you're listening to this episode and you take anything away, it is that just because someone doesn't have kids does not give the right for you to outright ask when they're doing it, assuming that they are. Do you know what I mean? It's really, it's one of those sort of loaded questions. It's what's an example? I can't think of one at the top of my head, but you don't just go and outright ask someone so there's so many factors now, right? There's so many, what if you can't? What if you literally don't want to? And it opens this big other conversation. Anyway, so I'm in a bind where all the pressures are coming in hot, and I'm one of those people, Walnut, and tell me if you are too, where if people are pressuring me to doing something or telling me I should do something, I immediately want to do the opposite. So I actually have had a situation where I'm like blurted out just because I was put on the spot and felt so intimidated. And I was like, I don't want kids. And if you're my friend and you're listening to this, you probably were on the arse end of one of those rambles where it's like, I don't even know if this is what I want, because I had one of those really questioning moments where it was like, do you want kids? Yes. Hang on. Why am I saying yes? Do I? Am I in a space for that? And then, I had all these, especially like men telling me about my biological body and my biological clock. That bothered me too. So there was a lot of things to sort of take on and make me ponder and percolate. And as I do, I ask lots of opinions and advice, not really before I make a decision. My sacral kind of always has the decision already made, but it just kind of makes, I like to hear all the different points of view. We're actually, as I'm recording this in like election time or whatever, and I'm not a politics person, Walnut, please do not bring this up to me because I will literally fall asleep. But I like to ask people like what their opinion is, and so, well, safe constructive spaces. Some people it's just quite aggressive and everything, but anyway, I digress. So I like to ask lots of opinions. I like to ask the opinions of people who have kids. I like to ask the people who are married with kids or the single parents with kids. I've got friends who weren't fussed on having kids, got pregnant, and and I think what I want to sort of like articulate, Walnut, and it will be interesting listening to this, in like 5 years' time, but is I don't want to have some sort of like strange identity crisis where I don't know who I am because my life has become all about something else. Because for all this time, my life has already been about something else. I feel like when I've been asked, it's like, oh, hurry up, Liz, when are you having kids? It's like, I just kind of only just feel like I got things sorted. I only feel just like I am okay, with my Weltschmerz saga, had a lot of like background, dirty laundry that I won't air. But there's been a lot of stuff I've had to go through, as I'm sure you have, Walnut, where I feel like now I'm just only literally just on the very, very tip of the little mountain that I've climbed, to just enjoy the not uphill cardio, and walking on the flat for a little bit. And I feel like I haven't basked in that for very long. Yet at the same time, I feel like, yes, I am getting on. There is like an age in my brain that I don't want to be at before having like a first kid, if that's what I even want. So it's all very polarizing opinions up in here, Walnut, and it's a hard time, and it's a difficult thing to just sort of to decide on, you know what I mean? So also, side note, Walnut, let's just record this. Everyone keeps saying, how much you love Kevin, and he is my firstborn. He is my actual child. You know how much you love Kevin, you'll love your human baby so much better. And I don't think that's possible because Kevin is literally my firstborn child. So anyway, I love my Kevin. So that's sort of where I'm at, Walnut. And I guess this episode is not really anything profound that I have found from where I'm at. It's mainly just the permission, Walnut, to take a step back. I kind of decided this morning, I was getting some sort of more advice, and some of the things that came back were devil's advocate sort of questions. It was like, are you sure you want to do this? Because I've kind of made like a decision in my brain, right? Like I've said to Geordie, I'm climatizing to the idea of said date to try to not try, essentially, meaning no more contraception and just letting the seeds fall where they may, literally. But so there's that, and I had a comment sort of being like, are you sure this is what you want? And asking me all these really, really important, relevant questions that I needed to hear. But in hearing that, I got stressed out again. And so I decided, okay, I'm done circulating the arena for opinions. And I just, when I'm by myself, Walnut, in my little Walnut HQ, in my little bat cave. I am cool as a cucumber, to be one with myself, to be one with my thoughts, to know what I want, to let my sacral choose yes or no and all the things. And I have a decision in my brain. And I am now done looking at all of the alternative options. It kind of where I'm at now, instead of being like, oh, fuck hell, I'm getting old and I need to do this and everyone is pressuring me and I should just do it because everyone else says I should do it. I am now at the, okay. I just think that I'm not going to be one of those people that is like born for maternal motherhood. Like, I don't think I'm going to be like, yay, I'm going to be pregnant. I feel like that's not really going to be an emotion that comes to me naturally with that sort of news. One of the questions that was really relevant that I was asked was like, why do you want to have children? And it's not being pregnant, it's not cuddling a newborn in the way little newborn babies smell and everything. For me, I kind of see it as much later in life, not necessarily like a legacy, but when I'm old and frail and my knees don't work as well and I can't go on a plane and I can't travel, seeing the little spawns of Satan, aka my kids, oh, I see kids, running around and having experiences, you know, living through something that I assisted with polishing and shaping and listen and seeing what kind of like humans they turn out to be, sort of thing. That is like, yeah, I can see that. So that's how my sacral knows. Yeah, it is for me. But God, the sound of pregnancy and sleepless nights and the depression. Look, Walnut, I got enough probs. I got enough probs to want to, like, openly welcome that and want to have that. But I guess when you have the thing, like when I had the Kevin, it's like everything, all the dreams come true and it's all very lovely, and all the hormones make you forget all the things. All of the walnuts who are mothers will be able to tell you all of the wonderful pros to the story. So I don't need to get into that. And I understand them, Walnut. I am not on any which side. I'm just trying to sort of articulate where my head sort of at with it. So I am in a place where it's like, okay to climatizing to this point in time of trying to not try. And to me, that feels good. And it's really, I'm getting a bit emotional. It's really hard for me, Walnut, because of all the stuff I've had to go through to get here. Not for myself, but like for even just like needing to rely on others, and that really, really scares me, Walnut. It really, really scares me to have to, I'll be hypothetically, when pregnant or having had given birth and blah, 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 all the wonderful miracles. I'm so cynical. Stop. It means I have to be in such a vulnerable place and such a weak place. Not weak, but it's not weak. It is not weak. Pushing a big melon out your hoo-ha is not weak. But I'm in a vulnerable place where I have to rely on people. And I have never had to do that because I have always been the fixer. I've always been the glue, even in a work sense, I've always been the holder together. And so I think that's one of the main things that really scares the shit out of me. And I know I have to surrender to trust. And I know that, if people do this thing all the time, but it's not been a priority to me. And I feel like I'm still my own priority. And that's something that I need to try and weave into this whole thing. I don't want to lose myself in the fact that that's going to be a part of me, and the defiant part of me being like, I don't want them, but actually I kind of do, needs to sort of work with the fact that I need to just sort of admit to myself that either it's not even admit that I want to do it, but it's just surrender to trusting myself, and not even trusting myself, trusting that I myself have created the situation that I'm in, and I am looked after and I am safe, and everything will work out. And it sounds so much easier than, the spiral in my head. I haven't actually said this out loud before, Walnut, so thanks for your patience and for listening to me. But yeah, just a little piece of my heart this week to let you know where I'm at. It is such a touchy subject, and I know very triggering, and I know there are people, it's a very privileged thing or a privileged problem to sort of have, because there are people that don't have that option at all. So I understand if you're listening to this episode and thinking, Laz, you can get fucked, fuck you. And if that makes you not want to hang around with Walnut Wednesday anymore, that's absolutely fine. But if there is something that you sort of resonate with and you feel deeply about, I would love to hear from you about it. And I just kind of wanted to share my doity laundry with you, but in integrity, and genuinely, like, this is the turmoil that I'm having with myself, and invite you into that. And the reasoning for that is because I know that it's so deeply personal to ourselves, and I know that if you kind of are resonating with this, there will be an aspect of your life, whether it be this particular topic or not, that you have felt sort of torn between two worlds. And it's hard when you're sitting at a crossroads and both the options are going to be like, okay, this is what it is, but it's like the having to choose thing is just really it's really tricky. You want someone sort of just to push you into a place rather than be the person that decides, especially as a recovering people pleaser. So it gets a little bit tricky at the crossroads sometimes too, rather than like turbulent and turmoil. It just gets a little bit like, who am I? And that's why I needed to just, shut the blinders off. And I realized this morning, it's time to stop asking, it's time to stop data collecting, and it's time to just sit with myself and sort of genuinely climatize, like I've been saying, and let my sort of nervous system, my mind, body, soul sort of get on board with that, and stop making silly jokes at my own expense, and stop making my bratty comments about it because I don't want to be like everyone else, and just be with myself, and trust that I have cultivated a wonderful environment for myself that I can be safe in, that I can just thrive in, essentially. So yes, that's my story. May it be a successful one. May you feel a little bit of success in, or whatever this card may sort of bring to you. But Walnut, I hope that you are in integrity with yourself and your thoughts and your feelings today. And if you feel at a crossroads yourself, I encourage you to sort of take a little note from the Laz book and sit at your little crossroads, but sit by yourself and stop waiting for people to push you in the right direction, and just ask yourself what you truly want to do and how that makes you feel. And from there, your answers will come. And if you're still confused, send me a message, jump into the walnut tree, all the things. There's a whole community of walnuts that are really, really, really here for you to dive in and be supportive and nurture and love you. So on that, Walnut, God, I'm so nervous about this episode. Like, oh my God, are you going to hate me? I hope my words have come across, without offending you. And if I have, I'm sorry. Have a happy Walnut Wednesday. You mean so much to me. You are so worthy. You are beautiful. You are sexy. You are delicious. And thank you for holding the space for me this week. Have a happy Walnut Wednesday. Bye.